We got a lot of breaking news to discuss on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into today's show. So, breaking news in the NFL world, a bombshell report. Apparently, the Steelers and Mike Tomlin are parting ways. Mike Tomlin has informed the Steelers that he is stepping down, which obviously leaves another head coach opening in the NFL, and Brian Flores could be a lead candidate for that position. And we covered the Jordan Addison arrest earlier on this morning, but his agent actually talked about it, and GM Kwesi talked about it during the press conference today. So a lot to break down, and this offseason is starting to get crazy for your Minnesota Vikings, and there is no better time to hit that subscribe button. Multiple videos per day. We will keep you guys up to date with the latest around Flores, the entire NFL, Jordan Addison, J.J. McCarthy. We have it all here on the channel. No matter the time, no matter where I'm at, if we get some breaking news around your Minnesota Vikings, we'll have a video for you guys ASAP. So hit that subscribe button today. Make me look good for my bosses. And also, we're about 70 subs away from 69,000 subs. So if you guys could go down there, hit that subscribe button. All right, so it's Tom Pelissero breaking the news, tweeting out that Mike Tomlin is stepping down as the Steelers head coach. Obviously, this comes a day after the Steelers got absolutely blasted by the Houston Texans last night during Wild Card Weekend, losing that game 30-6. And there was a lot of writing on the walls that that could be his last game there in Pittsburgh. Now, also, Ari Miroff making this note, saying this is important. Mike Tomlin leaving the organization means the Steelers will retain his rights. He was not fired. It seems likely he'll take a year off, possibly do TV, and then become a trade candidate next year, similar to Sean Payton when he was with the Saints, held his rights, and later traded him to Denver. So how did the Vikings get connected here? Well, Jordan Schultz tweeting this out, and this is not good news for Vikings fans, saying it would not be a surprise if Brian Flores, who was in Pittsburgh in 2022, gets a real look by the Steelers. And then a high-level executive just told Jordan Schultz, who's got a lot of good sources, saying that makes too much sense. And, there's no doubt, like, the Steelers do make a lot of sense for Mike Tomlin. He comes from that Belichickian style, which, does resonate well with the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, where it's no nonsense, and Flores would obviously bring a ton of new ideas to that defense. His scheme is incredibly unique. The defensive coordinator, Terry Austin, didn't do the best job this past season. So if they want an immediate upgrade, get back to that Steelers old-school defensive-minded first culture, Brian Flores is that. And Flores was there in 2022 as the senior defensive assistant. So he already has some ties with some key names on that roster. T.J. Watt, also a Cam Hayward. We're also Cam Hayward up there in age. Maybe if he's looking to retire potentially, well, what better way to motivate him to come back to Pittsburgh than to go hire somebody he is already familiar with? But as we know, there are three top Flores destinations. Number one, honestly, right now, I would probably say the Pittsburgh Steelers. Comes out of nowhere, but I think they would be the number one destination. Number two, still the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens, actually, earlier on today, the Ravens have officially completed their interview with Brian Flores, and the Las Vegas Raiders, even though they haven't formally requested Flores just yet, you still have that connection with Tom Brady and Brian Flores. When Flores was in Miami, he was apparently trying to pound the table and say, hey, we got to get Brady to Miami. And, yesterday on the channel, we were saying that possibly around a 60% chance that Flores returns as the defensive coordinator for the Vikes. I think that has plummeted. I think now with three destinations on the table, 9 head coach openings in total in the NFL right now, I'd probably say it's more likely than not that Flores does end up leaving. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would probably say around 20% he is back as a DC for the Vikings, but also the Washington Commanders are expected to reach out to Brian Flores about their defensive coordinator position. So you got the Cowboys, Commanders want Flores as their DC. Now you have the Ravens, Steelers, Raiders all want Flores as their head coach. But then you have the biggest wrench in the thing, or wrench in the situation of the Wilfs. Are they going to be willing to make Flores the highest paid coordinator in the NFL, which there hasn't been a report yet, but I promise you Flores' asking price starts at what Chip Kelly got of that $6 million figure. I'm sure he's going to want $6.5 or up to $7 million. But also earlier on today, Mike Pettin, the Vikings assistant head coach, he officially retired, so maybe the Vikings could give him a promotion, make him the assistant head coach, remains as the defensive coordinator, make him the highest paid coordinator in the league. A lot going on, so we'll keep you guys posted with it all. So even more reason to hit that subscribe button here on the channel. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. Will Brian Flores be the Vikings DC next season? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. As it stands right now, again, this changes every single day. Shoot, it changes almost every single hour, it feels like. You guys let me know your thoughts, though. Y for yes, N for no. Chime in down below. All right, speaking about chiming in, Jordan Addison's agent had a tweet out there talking about his recent arrest in Tampa Bay, Florida, where he was charged with a misdemeanor trespassing charge, where apparently it was 3:45 in the morning. He was at a casino in Tampa, and apparently it just did not go well, and it led to Jordan Addison getting arrested. So his agent chimed in, and we'll break that down in full here in just a second. But before we do so, let me tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, that being Factor Meals. And if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off, plug in promo code VikingsChat50 off, we'll hook you guys up with 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Now, the new year means you guys probably have some big goals. And if you guys don't have time to cook, well, Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. So you can eat well without all the shopping and cooking. And I love Factor because they have no refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, no refined seed oils, and some of the best options out there are the Texas Cheddar Burger. I love that, but they have over 100 rotating weekly meals, and these options include high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, and GLP-1 support, and ready-to-eat salads. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 off and use code VikingsChat50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Oh, Jordan Addison. It's another offseason where we're talking about number 3 and not in a good way. And recently his agent took to Twitter to chime in, and this is what he had to say. This was coming in from Younger and Associates, saying on Jordan's behalf, his legal team has already initiated the investigation, identified witnesses, and we are reviewing the viability of the claim for false arrest. He looks forward to the legal process, and upon full investigation, we are confident Mr. Addison will be exonerated. So maybe they're saying there was some wrongdoing. They're going to go look at witnesses here. So still a lot to be unpacked with this Jordan Addison situation. So we don't want to jump to any conclusions in terms of what the punishment could possibly be. But also Kwesi talked to media today, and he had his thoughts on the Addison situation. And I thought he gave some good insight, saying this: 99% of the days that Jordan Addison is a Viking, he's a joy to be around. He's incredibly intelligent, confident, responsible, and like all of us, what are you on those 1% of those days? Obviously, that's something we have to consider when you're talking about long-term ramifications. We'll have those conversations, obviously, just a few days after the season, and obviously this event just happened, but always supportive of Jordan Addison. We'll continue to find, and see what actually happened, and then we'll have those conversations in the future. So obviously a lot going on. We're not going to be too definite on what happened in that casino in Tampa Bay, but this is just another mark on the Jordan Addison off-the-field issues. Obviously we know his rookie season during that summer, he was pulled over for speeding, going 140 miles per hour. He was arrested on suspicion of DUI in LA in July of 2024, ended up pleading guilty to that, resulted in him being suspended for 3 games. And then today, or late last night, he was arrested at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in January 26th. And then obviously we know what happened in London. He was just not found during a walkthrough, which resulted in him being suspended for a first quarter. And if it was just one of those that happened, let's just say Addison had a clean slate, he was arrested for a misdemeanor trespassing charge, this would probably be a non-story. But it's just another offseason where we're talking about Jordan Addison and his off-the-field nonsense, and I'm sure the Wilfs and the front office and even the coaching staff and probably even some of his teammates could be getting sick and tired of this. But now this makes this Jalen Nailor decision this offseason very interesting, because I do think if he had a clean slate, probably means the Vikings just let Jalen Nailor walk. They bump up Ty Felton, the wide receiver 3. But now with this Jordan Addison situation, can you afford to let Nailor just walk out the door, or would you be willing to give him maybe a 3-year, $30 million deal, which will be the asking price of Speedy this offseason? I would bring back Speedy just to give some insurance if the Jordan Addison situation does go awry, but you do have a lot of time to figure it out. Like free agency, still a very long ways away, not getting underway until March 11th. So they'll have a decent amount of time to figure out that whole situation. But you guys let me know. Would you do it? Should the Vikings bring back Jalen Nailor? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. We'll get on out of here. As always, Skol Vikes.